Well, we were talking before about being on the road. I think it was when I did the dead dog gig or dying dogs, where they tell you, oh, I have a place for you to stay, and it ends up being like a dump. Sometimes they're like, oh, we'll get you a hotel. Now my move is like, I'll be like, I'll take the buyout. I'm going to get my own hotel.
Yes.
Because so many clubs or all these venues like,
terrible.
oh, wait, they have a relationship with whatever local hotel.
And it
they,
could be
every 10 rooms they buy, they get one free
Yeah.
or whatever. But it's like the worst hotel you've ever stayed in your entire
of course.
life.
And it's like it's you and everyone is using it as a halfway house. It's like everyone is just it's the craziest people in the hotel.
Literally one time I'm like, I just need to get a couple hours of sleep and then I'm drive back in the morning. I swear to God I heard guns going off in the middle of the night in the hotel. I was like, and I'm like so in sleep. I like took a sleeping pill and I'm like, just don't ignore it.
I also know it's
As
a
long
bad.
as I check myself and go, are you bleeding? No, fuck, ignore it. Literally, like where you go in to check into the hotel and they have the bank glass.
yes, yeah.
And you go, well, that's not good.
It's a turnstile.
Yeah,
You're gonna
literally,
put
that's
your-
not good. They go, that's because they don't have money back there.
My
you know?
favorite is I went on the other day and the lady's like, well, it's extra to use the Wi-Fi. I'm like, I'm gonna do a different hotel. If you're charging me for Wi-Fi,
Did you walk out?
yeah.
Good
I
for
was
you.
like, no, I need to work from here.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
this is crazy. If that's like a big feature,
Yeah,
to the
right.
hotel, like,
Wi-Fi.
hey man, Wi-Fi if you want.
Wi-Fi.
And it's obviously just the Dunkin' Donuts Wi-Fi they're just taking from across the street. They just, it's so.
Dude, yeah, right. You see the other people staying at the hotel, and you're like, "Oh, I can't believe I'm staying at a hotel with these people." And then you go, "Oh no, I'm one. Even worse, I'm one of these people." I had the worst hotel I've ever stayed. I was telling someone this story earlier this week. Worst hotel I've ever stayed. This was like North Dakota, Fargo, maybe. Claire Sunby's with me.
Yeah.
She goes to take a shower. We've been on the road all day. No soap, no shampoo in the shower. So she goes to the front desk and goes, we didn't get soap. And the guy goes, we don't do that. She goes, what? He goes, they had like a little hand soap, like a bar of hand soap. He goes, we don't do shampoo. And she goes, what? we both need to shower. We feel gross. We've been driving for the last 2 days, like doing these different gigs.
Do that.
And the guy goes, hang on a second. He goes in the back. He comes back with one bottle of VO5 shampoo.
The collective
The
hotel
whole
bottle.
building shares. And he goes, it's half empty, more than half empty. He goes, bring it back when you're done. Because the whole building shares that.
It's like, you know, you go to a restaurant, they have a bathroom key. It's like attached to the shampoo bottle.
It's like tied to a fucking hubcap or something. Yes.
Oh, it's so disgusting. It's a shower. It's
yes,
like,
and it's one of those like there's a certain type of motel like this that is clearly family owned. It's your guys.
I knew you were gonna. I knew you were gonna.
And God bless them, they're entrepreneurs, but they also live there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this guy went back into the hotel room that he lives in.
And got his.
The VO5 that's this close to being empty.
Well, that's so funny. He's like, I'm keeping that in my room.
That's for me.
That's for
That's
me.
for me, dog.
I shower whenever I want. That's the most
Pretty bad.
insane thing ever.
Pretty bad.
I had a.
We don't do that. It's just that they seem shocked that we would have asked.
You would ask that.
You're at a
yeah.
hotel. You want soap too? Like, what's next? A towel?
They're like, we have running water. Is
Yeah, I
that
know.
Anything else? Prince?
Claire is in there like checking for bed bugs.
Yeah.
Like
I'm very paranoid about that. The bed bugs thing. After someone.
I do think I got bed bugs from that
Yeah,
place or
that's-
something. I had that's when I was like, never again.
thing
It's
with
worth it to buy a better hotel.
And it's also because of our hours. Like we're like sometimes I'll do the gig first and then go to the hotel.
Yeah.
So I had one of those the other day when I got there late. I had to go straight to the gig. Then I'm coming to the hotel. It's like 11 p.m. at night, and I'm the only person checking in. And I was like, forgotten some of my own toiletries because it was so last minute. So I'm like, can I get this?
Right.
So I was like, let me get some toothpaste for the next day. And I don't want to come down in the morning. Then I was like, oh, let me get some lotion. And then I was like, I'm asking for lotion
winks, yeah.
at 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And this lady's like, I was like, it's not like I'm not doing anything weird.
She's like, and you're like, I'd also like to buy the Wi-Fi,
Yeah,
please.
exactly. I'm like, give me the works.
Oh, you do
Yeah.
have lotion? I will take the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, we got to figure.
There is
something else out.
the checking into the hotel late. Some of these like small towns, I'm like leaving the gig and I'm like, the hotel, no one's even going to be there.
No, yeah, you got to go before. You got to make sure you have your room key and everything because there's one person who runs the whole fucking thing.
Right. They're asleep. There's one. I forget. Middle of it is Ohio, and they had like, there's no real place to go for me to get food in the morning. They had breakfast at the hotel.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sleep. Like insomnia, terrible. Like I'm up all night and I'm starving. So I'm waiting for when
6 o'clock.
the breakfast starts. And I'm like,
there.
it's like I waited till like 6:05, 6:10. But I'm like staring at the clock waiting. I go down there. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
So they have a little thing at the front desk, like buzzer. There's a phone you could pick up. to call to see what if you need help. I pick it up and I hear it ringing across like through the wall.
Because
the guy lives there.
Yeah.
And I could hear him like coming out of sleep, going like, hello, and I go, yeah, is there breakfast? And he goes, yeah, give me a minute. Except he sounds like you.
Do the voice.
I'm not doing the voice. You do the voice.
We'll dub it. We'll dub it like a movie.
and I come out. I come back like maybe 10 minutes later, and he had gotten out like one thing of milk that's got like this much.
It's not breakfast. He's cooking for you.
This much.
It's a date.
This much left, and it's fully expired. This much orange juice left, fully expired.
So weird.
Bagels, you could hammer in a nail with how hard they are. I couldn't eat any of it. It was all inedible.
That's the level.
Making it for you.
Yeah, he lights a candle. Hey, sit down, man.
Yeah, get comfy.
Enjoy yourself. I'm gonna be sleeping in the next room.
Yeah, he went back to bed, dude. He was done.
So crazy.
And the other sign of a bad hotel is when you walk in and they got slot machines in the lobby.
Oh,
that's a big thing now, especially a lot of those like
slot machines anywhere other than the casino is a bad
100%,
sign.
100%.
That's also a bad sign.
The restaurants got slot machines. That ain't good.
I mean, we both done shows. This is again sign of the career. We both done. I can count on multiple shows I've done where I've walked in the venue and there's slot machines in addition to the bar.
Yeah,
that's like a
because that's how being a restaurant didn't work out, so like we'll be a bar.
Yeah.
Being a bar didn't work out, we'll have gaming. Gaming didn't work out, I guess we'll do comedy.
And then they're one step away from like dog fighting. They're like right at
so it's comedy. Comedy doesn't work out.
Yeah,
midget wrestling.
yeah,
That's what's next. And honestly, I'll be back for that. I will be back for that.
Shout out to what's it called? McHenry, Illinois. They got midget wrestling over the Vixen.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I did a casino gig recently. Actually, it was like a really good gig, but then you see the people there. One of the comics just like was, does the like mandatory. He's like, oh, hey, how's everybody doing? Like, is anybody winning at the casino? Everybody. No. They're all like, we're here because we're
bored.
It's bad. Like, we ran out of money.
Oh, that's a different.
Right.
Sometimes,
those like rural casino gigs, it's sad because like no one is there gaming for fun.
No.
They're like trying to save the farm.
It's or it's like they just are like that's their like a retirement home. They just sit there for 8 hours.
Yeah,
and like we just flush
this.
this.
I've had this a couple times recently where I'm on the road doing casino gig. You go to the casino, it's only slot machines.
Yeah, they don't have tables.
It's no tables.
Yeah. That's too high money though.
It's too high money, but it's also like maybe it's like law, like they're zoning. They're only allowed a certain type of thing. I go. You came all the way here to sit in front of a like you do this at home on a computer.
You can do this online,
right? Like what are you doing?
I guess you're at a certain age though. You're like, I'm not gonna go online.
They're just doing that.
Also, I feel like if you did link your bank account to your online, like that.
But
would
I've
be,
always like if I'm at a casino or like I'm on vacation or something, I'll go and I'll like play roulette or like maybe a little blackjack. I can't play poker. I've never been into slots because I feel like you're just like you put money in, it just disappears.
Yeah, it's stupid.
When I was at the casino, I got put $2 in a slot machine. I won $75, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, it's very fun.
You start winning money, you're like, I love this, man.
Tyler never came home from that gig.
I see what y'all are doing, man. This is right. Once that money started racking up, I was like, 70. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, that's like those are things that you're like we just everyone kind of just turns the other cheek. You're like, yeah, we know this is very bad, but we're like, what do we do with these people?
Hey, well, we took land from the Native Americans,
so
we got to let them get it back.
Let them get it back.
Let them get it back.
I was in. I did this gig yesterday in Mahomet.
Yeah,
Illinois.
Beautiful Mahomet, Illinois.
And, there was another. I gave this local comic, this Indian guy, guest spot, and I was like, "How do you say it, Mahomet?"
Do you want to do the voice?
And then he does have an accent. Actually,
really?
He does. And so I go, "Was it Muhammad or Muhammad?" I'm like, "He was just up here."
That's great.
And they were dying but also it's so funny that these towns, I'm like, they're like indignant on they're like, no,
yes,
it's Muhammad.
It's Muhammad.
Like,
yeah.
By the way, it's also my other Indian. It's like you took it from them. Like, don't be mad. Don't be like correcting me. Like, you're still a bad person.
That's a great gig though. Shout out Yellow & Co. Mahomet, Illinois.
Very fun. Shout out to Mike McDermott who runs it
out there.
Killer Room. That was very fun.
They have the like gift shop next door, which is super cool.
Yeah, I was there. I was like a vendor. I was selling merch over there. It was great. It was perfect.
It is a cool place.
Yeah,
and they're super nice. They're doing everything right. It's a great club.
That's one of those you drive and you're like, okay, this is worth it because it's
kind of like I've had this a couple times recently where you're on the road and you just you're driving all day. You expect to get there and it suck.
Yeah.
You go to a place like that and you're like, oh, it's awesome.
I was telling him,
pleasantly surprised.
I was like, you just have everything, and he was like, you already got the gig. You don't need to butter me up. I'm like, you don't understand.
I know. I'm sure I did it to him. I'll do it to people like that where I'm like, people don't treat us like this.
And they're so
like,
nice.
they just assume. I feel like venues, they either treat you great and assume everyone else does, or they treat you like absolute garbage, and they're like, it's like your fault.
Yes.
You know?
They're like mad you're there.
They're like, what? You wanted water?
Exactly.
Or they're like, hey, we catered food. I hope that's okay. We're going to pay you a ton of money.
Yeah.
There's a good crowd here, and it's nice. You know,
they had he's like we got 2 photos. You can choose which one you like. We'll sign one. Like, I mean, it's just incredible. I was like, this is so nice. And it was one of those gigs too where it's a college town, so the audience is like, it's like every demographic.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised because I was expecting it to be pretty like one type.
Honkies.
Yeah. But so funny. And I that Indian guy who went up, his name's Neil. We'll put up his thing. He goes up, and I was like, man, if you guys like Tim, you're gonna love me, because I'm like, if you can handle him, I'm like, I sound white after this guy.
I'm way more palatable than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
And he's like one of these like kind of very like very technical, wordy type, because he's Indian. So it's like, you know, it's
he's an engineer.
Yeah, he is an engineer.
Yeah.
Literally,
he's engineer.
He's a joke, and it's very well written, but it's all specific technical.
And your stuff is dumb.
I was like, my stuff is like, I'm saying.
I mean, you're like a white guy in that. Yeah, you're really stupid. You know.
I was like, I came to your level. I didn't know.
I'm bringing it down here for y'all.
But I did. It was one of those things. Someone before the show was like, hey, you know, like, political stuff, not really like, and so it kind of threw me, because I was like, a lot of the new stuff I'm doing is very topical, very political, but then it was a college town. I'm like, they're fine. Like they're actually
there. Where was I recently? I had this conversation with someone where they were like, no politics, and then we were like, we look around and we go, what you mean is no liberal politics?
Yeah.
If I could talk for an hour about how Joe Biden is a lizard and how Liz Cheney should burn in hell, and they'd carry me out here on their shoulders.
Don't try to act like it's both sides.
Right, 100%. They go, politics. Dude, I wish I could remember where it was. Who was I with? Because they were like, politics doesn't really play here. I'm like, I think politics plays here as long as you're on the right side of it.
Exactly. As long as QAnon only, please.
Oh, it was like up in like Lake County, where I'm like, oh, they love politics up here.
And if you
no politics, tell it to everyone with the Trump flags on their car and the swastika tattoos.
And it was so funny because I did like it's so interesting, these towns where the line is. I did a joke about I'm doing this joke about the Trouble Boys school. I'm bringing it back. And one of the tags I have, I was like, should these groups be together?
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't put a gym inside of a donut shop. And it's like one of these like lines.
Oh, that's funny.
And like I'm building the bit, and right before that I did a school shooting joke, kills. And then I do that bit, and I was like, all right, so we know the line is, you can kill some kids, don't fuck them, though. It's just like right at the...
That's funny.
So it's like, it's one of those bits, you're like, it is interesting to all these gigs that we do. I'm like, we got to turn this into something. Like, you were doing the threads. I was like, I got to make these jokes.
Right.
Because it is our trauma.
Yeah.
Like, we need someone to know what happened.
I got to let this out, or I'm going to, have an
Otherwise, it's just going to be a camera like this in the dark of me being like, I was there.
Yeah.
Like,